second graders, and welcome to Lesson 7 of EL. Today we're going to read a book called A Place for Bats and talk about the dangers bats face. We've been reading fables about pollinators. Fables are a genre or type of fiction. That means they tell a story with a beginning, middle, and end, and a characters, setting, problems, and solutions. Well, now we're going to be reading nonfiction or informational text to learn true facts about real pollinators. We learned earlier in the year that nonfiction texts have things called text features. What are some text features we might see as we're reading this week? We're moving into Unit 2, so we have two new questions to think about. My first question is, what dangers do pollinators face? That means, what harmful things do pollinators have to deal with? Our second question is, why should people protect pollinators? That means, why should people try to keep pollinators safe? We're going to learn all about that this week. Today we're going to determine the dangers that bats face by reading sections of A Place for Bats. That means we're going to figure out the harmful things that bats have to deal with by reading sections or parts of A Place for Bats. When we read nonfiction text, we don't always have to read the whole book. We can sometimes just choose to read the parts that are important to what we want to know. For bats to survive, they need to stay safe and healthy. Many bats are killed by people who think bats are dangerous. But bats can't hurt us, and they devour or eat pesky insects all night long. When people learn the truth about these little nighttime flyers, bats can live and grow. The Indiana bat. In the 1800s, so like 200 years ago, millions of Indiana bats spent the winter in caves in Kentucky, Missouri, and Indiana. People snuck into some of the caves and killed the bats with clubs. Sometimes they set fires so the bats would burn. By the 1960s, almost all the bats were gone. Today, groups like Bat Conservation International are letting people know that bats are an important part of our world. Hopefully, educating people will help save Indiana bats. People hurting bats because they're afraid sounds like it's really dangerous for bats, so I'm going to write that down, that some people fear bats and hurt them. Let's see what other dangers we can learn about. Thousands of bats are dying of a terrible disease called white nose syndrome. Scientists think it's caused by a fungus that came from Europe. When scientists discover a way to treat the disease, bats can live and grow. Tricolored bat. In 2006, bats in the United States suddenly started dying. A fungus was to blame. Where had it come from? How was it spreading? Scientists didn't know. In 2013, researchers found that healthy bats in Europe have the same fungus. It must have spread on people's clothes and shoes. Now scientists want to know how the fungus turned deadly. The answer may help them find a way to save bats with the disease. Oh, those poor bats! Thousands of bats dying of a terrible disease also sounds like it's pretty dangerous for bats. I'm going to write that down, that poisons cause diseases. They said the name of the disease was white nose syndrome. Well, now it's your turn, second graders. Listen closely for another danger bats face. Bats have trouble surviving when their home habitats are destroyed. Some bats can only live in open woodlands with rivers or streams nearby. A habitat is where the bats live. When people set aside some of these natural areas, bats can live and grow. Western red bat. Gotta always read my headings. Western red bats roost in trees that grow along the Colorado River. But as people drain water for the river, the trees die and the landscape is destroyed. Luckily, scientists in California and Arizona noticed the problem. Now they're working together to protect 765 acres of land along the river for the bats and other animals. According to the text, when do bats have trouble surviving? Bats have trouble surviving when their habitats are destroyed. That means that their homes are messed up, so they don't have anywhere to live. Let's see if we can find another danger. Other bats can only survive in thick forests with lots of large old trees. When people protect the land and the trees, bats can live and grow. My heading right here says silver-haired bat. For many years, forest rangers cut down dead trees in old-growth forests. But then scientists discovered that silver-haired bats roost under the loose bark on dead trees. Roosts are places where bats rest or sleep. Today, forest rangers let the dead trees stand so the bats have a place to sleep. According to the text, why do bats need dead trees? Bats need dead trees because that's where they roost or rest/sleep. I'm going to add that underneath what we already said about their habitats being destroyed, because when the dead trees are removed, the bats lose their home and their roosts. All right, second graders, you did a very good job of figuring out what dangers bats face. Now go back to Google Classroom and complete Dangers Bats Face. Make sure you click on the symbol to hear the directions.